Welcome to my channel Living Linux. In my previous video I already showed you that Fedora 42 ARM has out-of-the-box support for running x86 and x86-64 programs. Now I tried to activate it, but on my Libre Computer Alta it gave me a lot of headache. And you can argue that my Libre Computer Alta is a little bit underpowered anyway, also because the graphics driver is not fully developed yet. But in theory, it should still be possible to play some simple games like Stunt Car Racer. So a little warning up front. I'm not in the best of moods. In the end, I did get it sort of working. Not really fully happy with it, but at least I did make some progress. And I have the suspicion that they primarily tested it on Macs with an ARM chip. And I'm really wondering, if they also tested it on, for instance, a Raspberry Pi. Anyway, the default choice with Fedora 42 is using Fex. And well, on a Mac, there is the issue that you need to run with a 4K page size kernel, while Fedora Asahi Remix runs on a 60K page size kernel. And they developed what they call a micro VM to get around that. Now, perhaps the VM itself is really small, but I can show you later why micro might not be the best name for it. Like I said, the default choice is Fex. I tried to run it with Fex, but it didn't work for me. It just gave a segmentation error, segmentation fault. So, but you can try to install Fex like this. Like this. If you want to have the whole emulation stack, you can install the whole emulation stack like this. But let me come back to my little rant about the micro VM for Fex. And here you can see that it will add 2 GB extra. And that's because the Fex emulation file system is around 2 GB. So yeah, that's not exactly a micro in my book. So I'm not going to install it. Like I said, I already tried it. I got a segmentation fault. So if you're running Fedora on a Mac with an ARM chip, then you probably will have better success. But for the people that run it on, let's just say more embedded ARM chips, like for instance the one that I have, the Amlogic A311D in the Libre Computer Alta. Yeah, at least with this release, it didn't work for me. So I went with Box64 in the end. But let's go down a trip down memory lane. So yeah, looks like that this feature, there's been some discussion about it already for several years. And here it says they don't want to mess with multilib. And I don't know how the discussion went through the years, but in the end, yeah, they came up with the solution of having a micro VM. And I don't know if Box86 was already available back in those days. But this isn't really relevant, but it's sometimes interesting to see when you're searching on some stuff that some old stuff just pops up. Anyway, one of the other things that I found was this copper. But seeing that the builds failed, I didn't invest any time in that. I also found this wiki, and I think this is Linux for Tegra, so the NVIDIA CPU that has ARM cores. So I also tried this way and almost got it working. But I think I have an issue with lib format that, well, perhaps I should have done some more homework to try to get it working. But yeah, I also had some issues with this. One of the issues was already the installation itself. Because here it says install libglapi-mesa 0. So if I'm correct, or was it some other package? Oh, sorry. libglapi-mesa, but I had to replace it with this name, mesa-libgallium. And then it started installing. So let's see if we can find it here. Yep, there it is. So you have to replace it with the other name in case you run into an error. Setting up the chroot was also a lot of fun. A lot of ping-ponging with dependencies, and yeah, in the end I kicked out Zenity, and then the installation finally did work. So let's see what's yeah, so that's, oh, sorry. I think I already saw Zenity there. Yeah, there. So, well, when I removed Zenity, then I was able to get the chroot installed, and you can install Zenity here. Now I think that this step no longer works, because I think they changed the mechanism when they made Fex the default. And I think they also made some changes to this one. Anyway, it didn't work for me. So perhaps I did something wrong. I don't know. Like I said, that's why I have a headache now, and I'm not in the best of moods. But I'll put the link in the description of the video for anyone that is adventurous enough to try to get it working through this way. So for me, I went back to Box64. I built it with Box32 included. Box64 is also available in the Fedora repository, so it's not really necessary to build it yourself. But I wanted to see if I was able to get Steam started. Well, spoiler alert, I wasn't. But since I had the hope that perhaps it would be possible, I built it myself. So that means that you need to check the compilation instructions and yeah, just get the code, make the build directory, go into the build directory, and then you need to get the right parameters for CMAKE. So now I think the Odroid N2 and N2 Plus, that they have a similar chip like the Amlogic A311D, so I went with this switch. So I added these switches to CMAKE, and also the Box32 switches. And then follow these steps, and I think that this last step doesn't work on Fedora. It's a suspicion I have. I'm not really a developer, so I could be wrong. But in the end, it didn't work as I was hoping it would. Now, can we get to the good part of the story? So in the end, I did get it working, and yeah, there's an issue with bin format. So I think in the end, yeah, I made the change to this file. So the default is Fex, so I changed it to Box64. I had to change the path to this, and then it's sort of works. Still not as I hoped it would, but yeah. I hope that they will make it easier to make it work on more ARM systems. So, a little test, Stunt car remake. So, I downloaded it, and when I tried to start it like this, so I was expecting that, because I made the changes, that it would automatically start Box64. And it looks like it does, but not with the result I hoped. So I still have to explicitly start it with Box64. and then it works. Now I'm going to stop it because I think I have an issue with the graphics driver, so you might have noticed some occasional flashes here and there. I can play the game, but yeah, because of the flashes in the screen, it's not a nice experience. But in itself, Box64 is working on Fedora 42. Yeah, I also tried to get Steam working, and I think that if we go here, no, not this one, not the blog. I need to have the wiki. So perhaps there's a link to the wiki somewhere. So this is all on a Mac with an ARM chip. Oh yeah. So they say they also have their own Steam wrapper. And no. Oh, this is the Fedora. Hold on. Yeah, I just looked up the wiki for Fex, and well, they give you a link to the Steam client, but this is already outdated, and that might give you an error. So just go to the directory up to Steam. So I just went with 42, x86, S, and here you can see the RPM for Steam. If we go back, then you can install it like this. Then you have to change the version. And let's see, where did it all go? Yeah, so I just installed it from the downloads directory, and then it gets installed immediately in the downloads directory. That's perhaps not the best place, but so if we go here, so it says Steam runtime environment up to date. So I already started it once, and then it went through the update, and now it will simply tell me it's trying to use box64, but yeah, it says missing 32-bit libraries, libc S06. And well, at least it does try to do something, but in the end it didn't work for me. Perhaps I'll have a look if I can find a solution for that missing library. Who knows? But because of my mental headache, I just gave up. So in the end, I did get box64 working. Unfortunately, box32 on Fedora is perhaps not good enough to get Steam working, but I'll keep an eye on this. So perhaps in the future this will start working on Fedora. And as you can see, it just fails in the end. So yeah, we had Steam already working on a Raspberry Pi 5 with Ubuntu. So at some point in time, it will probably also work on Fedora. But yeah, I will try to look at that library. But if I can't get that fixed, then I'll have to wait until things get developed further. I still have good hope that at some point in time this all will start working, that I can start Steam on Fedora with an ARMS chip. So this is all for now, and I hope to see you again in my next video.